One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels, ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar. Insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Wishful's report, he paves his way. A legend in the making, day by day.
Yes, sir. Much love and respect to everybody coming in hot. We're chilling, vibing. Max on cool, shooting some b-ball outside school. Appreciate you guys coming in, hanging out with your boy. And yes, we're hanging out. We don't got some, alcoholic beverage or nothing tonight. We got the water. We're chilling. And we've got an interesting show today. We got the Kaotic Angels LEMC International President and the Sergeant of Arms. That's going to be coming up here very soon. I want to thank every single one of you guys that are in the Breakfast Club hanging out with us. Tonight would be the dinner club, We don't normally do, evening shows, but it's always fun to do so. And I have a whole bunch of you guys in the comments, and that's awesome, man. Thank you guys for being here. And you guys are going to be able to ask them, questions and stuff. Make sure you guys keep it respectful all the way around. Otherwise, I'm not going to highlight them. And, myself, I'm not like a I come from the traditional MC side, as I've told them on the backside, and not that I have anything against them personally or anything, but I stick to my lane, and they apparently stick to theirs, and that's something that I actually really do respect. And before we get into this in this episode, I want to show you guys where I initially found them before we bring them up, because we do have them in the back right now. Go ahead and pop this up because I got something to show you guys that they were doing. This is how I initially found them.
Whoop, whoop. Hello, we'll try this again because I've unfortunately I did the first post on the wrong profile. I did it on my personal one and not the club one. So,
I feel that what he just said.
Social media expert.
I've never called myself that. So here we are at a very picturesque, beautiful location. Absolutely amazing. And we're here carrying out our Walk the Bridge initiative that we're doing. The Walk the Bridge is something that started over in America, and we brought it over to England. It is a mental health movement to let people know that it's okay not to be okay, but it's not okay not to talk about it. And it's
that's a good thing you just said.
For our frontline first responders and military and everyone that's been touched by mental health. So we are here with this wonderful group of people that are all come out to walk. As you can see, we've got pets, we've got children, we've got numerous people that have come out to show support, just to let people know that it's okay not to be okay, but it's not okay not to talk about it. So if you or anyone in your area wants to set up a Walk the Bridge, then get in contact or go to walkthebridge.org, and you can set up one locally, or you can travel out and come and see us and come for a walk with us every third Sunday of the month at Fairlands Valley Park. So absolutely amazing to see so many people out here. We've got members of the ambulance service and different organizations, women's voluntary service, etc., that have all come out to show support and just raise awareness for this wonderful movement. And if anyone is going through a hard time, please don't be alone. Don't suffer in silence. mental health can be very isolating, and you get very lonely in your minds. And speaking from personal experience of someone who's gone through mental health, there's no shame in saying that. And as a man, or even as a woman, as a human being, there's no shame in saying that you sometimes suffer with mental health, because in actual fact, everyone will at some point in their lives, because life's hard sometimes. But with the right people around you, with the right support, you can do pretty much anything. So from all of us here to all of you, we hope you have a wonderful Sunday. Enjoy this beautiful, beautiful weather. And really, from all of us, have a great, great Sunday and great mental health. And we're here to break the stigma and raise mental health awareness.
See, man, that's what I'm freaking talking about right there. Much love and respect to that, for them doing what they're doing out there. And that's what it's all about, man. When I first saw that message, because I'm someone that's big, that talks about, you know, mental health awareness and stuff like that. And it's very rare to see people talk about mental health awareness and stuff like that. So you guys, if you guys have any questions in the chat for these guys, make sure you put a Q in front of your question. This is an example right here in the chat. Just like this, you put a Q like that, and then you go ahead and say your question so I can start it and come back to it when we have the appropriate time to ask those questions. And let's go ahead and introduce the Kaotic Angels, man. Much love and respect for you guys coming on to the channel, man. Thank you for being here.
Hey, it's a pleasure, man. Glad we can help clear stuff up or answer questions or do whatever.
Right on, man. And so we got Lil Tex, the international president, over there on the left, and then on to our right is Reaper, the international sergeant of arms. So I want to thank you guys for being here. And you know, it's not very easy for anybody really to be coming onto a live show. So my hat is off to you guys. You know, lives are a little bit different than doing normal video interviews, right? So
slip of the tongue.
Yeah, no, and see, there's a skill when it comes to this. So I know a lot of people, you know, even the media, you know, a lot of clubs decide not to come around to the media because, you know, clubs are worried about, hey, gotcha moments and stuff like that. So I don't want you guys to think if there's going to be anything of like that nature or anything. I want you guys to know that, you know, you're fully welcome here. And yeah, man. So I got a quick question. So your guys's, you know, club. Tell me a little bit about the club, first of all, you know, the Kaotic Angels.
Okay. Well, we've been around for about 10 years. We started with just pretty much like almost any other club, you know, group of people that enjoy riding together. We all have the same mentality as far as kind of similarities in backgrounds, families. We might have kids that hang out together. I have an autistic son. He was probably one of my biggest pushes to create something like this. And when I found other people that thought the same way, that's how we kind of got started. But
finding those like-minded people right there.
Yep. Yeah, but because of my chosen profession, I wasn't accepted in a lot of circles, and I get that. You know, people, you know, there's always a bad apple out there. Doesn't matter where you look, whether it's peaches, oranges, apples, pears. Totally. You're always going to find a bad one. So
you're right about that. You're right about that. It can be any organization. It can be any group of people.
Yeah.
Totally.
And, you know, we were looking at keeping it small. And, you know, then I ended up going to an event and met up with some guys overseas, and same thing. We all hit it off. We all had the same mentality, the thought processes, and the backgrounds. And, you know, these guys, as far as the mental health aspect, ex-military, you know, law enforcement, truck driver, bartender, I've done all those jobs. I mean, I've worn a lot of hats, and that's the thing, is that I try, and I guess that's one of the reasons I left law enforcement.
Okay. So question, are you guys all from law enforcement, or are you guys, you know, break down and from like firefighters, you know,
so
military?
I looked at it. We have female members,
okay, right on.
members. We are from military, everything from engineers to combat medics to active law enforcement, retired law enforcement, ex-law enforcement, healthcare workers, EMTs, nurses, doctors, anybody that's on that front line that is willing to put themselves out there. They're the kind of people that we look at.
Right. So another quick question that I want to, before I get into your guys's, mission statement and stuff like that, but
Sure.
the question I have is, initially where I found you guys was from that video. I have an actual viewer in the chat named Tats, and she actually was a part of your guys' walk over there in the UK from your guys' over there.
Outstanding.
So that was where the connection came in, actually. And so I didn't know that you guys were even in the United States up until, I was talking to them over there in the UK, and they're like, yeah, we'll go ahead and get the, American guys on. I'm like, American, that's cool. I didn't know that you guys were in the States, let alone, overseas. So you guys are international, which is amazing. So are you guys, in multiple states in the United States?
So you can find us in Alabama, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Texas.
Okay, right on.
We did have people in Arizona, but they ended up moving. We had someone in Illinois, then they ended up moving.
Yeah,
so
that's generally how that works, huh?
Right.
One guy, and I'm doing the same thing. Believe it or not, here tomorrow, I'm getting my Penske truck to go drive cross country because I'm moving from Southern California to Northern Alabama. So that's going to be a nice 30-hour drive in a truck.
We did that in a broke ass truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did it in a broke truck. We drove from Texas to California, from California back to Texas, and then from Texas to Tennessee, and then back.
This is my first time doing something like that. So I don't have multiple experiences under my belt.
Hey, it's an adventure. It's that part of life. It's an adventure, new experiences, making memories.
Right. Yeah, I was just, telling, even down to my viewership, that's here, friends and family and stuff like that, that it's something that I've never actually done. I've always lived in Southern California. I've never lived anywhere else. So it's definitely going to be an adventure, to say the least, to do this big move. You know what I mean? So, that's just coming up here in the next, couple of days here,
So you're going to Alabama, you can stop right in Texas.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'll be taking the 40 pretty much all the way there. So, I go above, up there, but it's all right, But, super cool, man. So, a little bit about you guys personally. What made you guys get into the club, both of you? This whole idea, and I know that you're, I don't want to take it too far, but you are one of the, the founder. And so what made you, decide to do this, and what got you guys to do the initial pull to actually be a club?
Honestly, it started playing video games.
I feel that.
I was emptying out some stress and magazines on Call of Duty, and when it first came out, like how old is Call of? I don't even know how old that video game is.
The original game? Oh shit, that came out when I was a kid, and let's see, that's about, let's just call it, within the last 20 years.
So, and so the other guy that we started it together, we played video games for several years. And then all of a sudden we were sitting there talking because he had a bad wreck and it messed up his foot. And, just recently he had to have his pinky toe amputated. And I told him, I said, people have had worse. So quit crying.
For
rub
real,
some dirt in it, some dirt in it, get back on the bike. You're okay.
That's right. Yep.
But our talking and conversations and things like that. And we pretty much, we talked about bikes. We talked about society. We talked about the way people treated each other. We talked about the different things that we had ran into as both police officers and military. He's ex-Coast Guard, and he was one of those people that were pulling bodies out of the water during Hurricane Katrina. And, you know, this guy saw a lot.
That's a heavy job right there.
Yeah. And, you know, the thing is that not every single veteran sees combat, but there are things that can mess people up. Whether you're a truck driver, I mean, you'd be surprised at the things that people see that clean the floors in a hospital. Just because they're not in that room doesn't mean that they don't see that and it traumatized.
That's a very good analogy.
So when it comes to the mental health, I mean, think about a woman that is rear-ended by a truck driver. You don't think she might not get traumatized and scared every time she sees a truck go by now?
Totally.
So, you know, you yourself, you were T-boned, and it took a part of you.
Sure
but
did.
you didn't let that stand in your way. You persevered, you pushed through, and you got past it, and you got back on that bike.
That's right. Yep. And that was a part of what I contribute to PMA, positive mental attitude. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
It can change your life by changing the way that you think. And it's hard for a lot of people to do that, but so I get it. Yeah. That's why I talk about mental health awareness so much myself, because a lot of people just, you know, deviate away from it. So that's where I say where you guys initially caught my attention and my eye from that video, for instance, because, you know, a lot of people deviate away from that subject because it's uncomfortable for a lot of people.
Yes, it is.
Let's make the uncomfortable comfortable.
Right. I agree with that sentiment, by the way. Yep.
But I get a lot of people that ask me why did we create a club, and then, you know, supposedly by us creating the club, we disrespected a lot of people, and I get that. But how does
I'm sure you've heard a lot of different, you know, claims and things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, there was never any intention to disrespect anybody, but it's a big world, and I'm a grown man. And that's the plain truth. I'm not better than anybody, and I'm not worse than anybody.
Right.
I'm just a man.
I like that. And everybody in the chat, I see your guys' questions. I'm starring them right now so that I can come back to them after we're, you know, done with some monologue here, and then we'll go into some questions. So make sure you I'm letting you guys know that I've got your guys' questions starred. So that means I'd come back to them. So for Reaper, what got you into this whole club life and the scene that you're a part of now?
So for me, I mean, growing up one way or another, I went into the military, Air Force 3PO31, E4 Mafia a little bit, kept getting demoted.
Hey, I feel that.
I was a shitbag only because I couldn't find home.
There you go. I feel that too. Yeah, it's understandable.
So, I found home. I found them after they started.
Okay, right on.
You know what I mean? I worked. And the biggest thing is I was never given up on.
That's
so
heavy.
For me, and like I wear my mental health, by the way, not a shameless plug to TVP, the Valhalla Project.
Right on.
Get your mental bands. They got 22 a day. They got Continue. For me, it was, I found what I was missing.
Those guys.
You know what I mean?
And that's what,
no matter what
did it for you.
Yeah. At the bottom line, I found what I was missing.
That's
and
cool, man.
The mission is what I needed. So I could get through my own mental health. Have I been in the psych ward? Yeah. I openly admit that. I was on the 6th floor of Houston. I don't give a shit.
I always say there's a fine line between insane and sane, and I walk it every day. Sometimes I step on this side of the line, and sometimes I'm on this side of the line.
Man, and I relate to that sentiment right there for sure. It's you know, life can be tedious, you know, and what I've learned is to always practice stoicism in all aspects of life. And so that's something that's definitely helped me in, you know, the ideology of just life, you know, because it can be definitely difficult walking through this life, no matter what we are, you know, where we've been, whatever. Life can be absolutely unfair. Things, you know, things happen in our life, whether they be something that's unfair, in my opinion, is like, cancer and stuff like that. People that go through terrible, defects, stuff like that. I've watched, and it's just, there's a lot of reasons and things that life can go wrong on you, and it can make it feel like everything's crumbling on top of you. So I feel that. So that's really cool, man. And so it seems like your guys' mission statement is surrounded by family, friends, brothers, and mental health awareness. Is that about like correct?
Honestly, that's a small portion. I mean, even the guys in the UK, these guys are amazing as far as their push. We've never had a motorcycle club been invited to Buckingham Palace for lunch with the king. I mean, Jesus.
Wow.
I mean,
that's humongous.
That's because of all of their hard work over there.
And they ended up getting recognized over there for doing what they do.
Oh yeah, man, these guys have awards out the wazoo from the city and the city councils and parliament. And the thing is that we make a major impact in the UK, and a lot of it has to do with the simple fact that in the United States, we have a lot of laws that if we violate, we're going to jail. Totally. But these laws don't exist over there, and they're able to utilize. I mean, we get food donated from the different food sorting houses and different grocery stores, and over there, and we turn around and give it away.
Right. Yep.
And just recently,
we're totally not allowed to do that.
Yeah, we can't. Otherwise. Every time city ordinances mess with us, we try to go buy pizzas and give them to someone that might be on the streets, and now we're enabling. And I'm like, gee, and the dude's hungry. Let me give the man a sandwich. Come on.
Right. Yep. That is I get it. I've actually never gotten it, to be real. I'm like, if it's my food, I should be able to do whatever
if I go buy the food, shouldn't I be able to give it to who I want?
I can throw it away. I can eat it myself. I can give it to my family, but you're telling me I can't give it to a stranger. Like, that's, to me, in my opinion, BS, But,
I thought about getting a really clean trash can and then putting each meal in a sack with a label on it and putting the trash can out and making people open it and get the food out of the trash. I mean,
now that's pretty damn smart. And I bet you could totally win that case. Be like, look, it is a trash can.
It was in a trash can. I'm just setting it out here. That's right.
I can't control if people open my trash can and take the shit. You know what I mean? I like that.
My problem, that's public domain.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah, it's like, listen.
But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the gist of us. I mean, we're not trying to pose as this big motorcycle club that's trying to make waves. That's not what we're about. We don't look at politics. We don't look at clubs. We don't look at color. We don't look at sexual orientation. We don't look at, you want to identify as a freaking poodle, be my guest, identify as a poodle. But if you're hungry and you needed something to eat and we have it and can give it, then we're going to. That's what matters to us. We don't like to waste stuff.
So the question I've got is, how have you guys not deviated, but how have you guys dealt with, people saying, oh, you've disrespected the culture, you guys have done, this or that, like, how do you guys take that?
I'll be honest, there have been a few that have, we get confronted, and a lot of it is, it's not they're not being disrespectful to us when they come up and they talk to us. They're wanting to know for their own purpose. I've had guys in the booze fighters come up and talk to us. I've had gentlemen in the banditos come and talk to us. I've even spoke with some Hell's Angels. And the thing is that, to me, I think I'm honoring the culture by trying to break the simple fact that just because I'm a police officer, I get it. There are people that don't like that type of, I get it.
Right.
I'm sorry. There are a lot of bad cops out there. There are.
And honestly, that's a big thing for you to actually say and go, I understand why that stigma might be there.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's a big thing for a lot of guys, because, like, even for me, I always say, the cops are the ones that drew the line in the sand with us. So I'm going to allow them to be on their side.
Well,
that's
Because I have
how
a
I've
patch.
always taken it.
Because I have a patch that even if an officer sees the LE, that doesn't matter to them. As far as they're concerned, I am a notorious outlaw because I have a beard,
Really?
tattoos, piercings. They want to take pictures of us with our colors and everything else. I'm sorry,
Wow.
the patch is a representation for us to be able to be identified so people can see who we are and know who we are. We have a website that people want to know, and I get questions from police officers wanting to know how many people we have, where our clubhouse is at. I'm sorry, it's none of your damn business.
Yes, and that's exactly what you're supposed to tell them. You know,
And that's
it's
exactly
like,
what I tell them every
it's
time.
like, stop asking me stupid questions. You know, I'm not going to tell you the amount of people that I've got in my
Yeah, because
organization.
it shouldn't matter.
You know,
It shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't. No, you're right about
But
that. So,
I mean, but
so
my
even
thing
you
is
guys
that
have been harassed.
is that I try. Oh yeah, just because you know, and we have active officers that
Right.
are members.
Sure.
These guys, they're told if you whip your badge out and you try to use your badge while you have that cut on, ain't gonna happen.
Hmm.
You're not gonna
That's
hide
interesting.
behind the badge.
I like that. You
That's
know,
not the way this world works. I mean,
now
you're
is
not
that
gonna.
is
You're
that
not
for
better just
all of you
because you have a
guys?
badge. That's all
Is
of
that
us.
wow?
Everyone
So
is told you will not use any position that you may hold to try to get out of doing. If you did wrong, you're gonna pay for it.
I
I mean,
would imagine that it's since you guys are an LE, you know, MC, I would imagine that, you know, the cops would kind of just be like,
oh
turn a
yeah,
blind eye,
everybody thinks that they would turn a blind. Oh no,
No.
right?
no.
Or like, hey, you
Trust
guys are
me,
doing
I've
this
sat on
over
the
there.
curb.
Well,
I've sat on the curb in cuffs.
wow. Wow, that's I mean, that's actually, you know, pretty deep being
But
that, you know, it's your own people.
that's also some of the that's just the simple fact that you have ignorance in law enforcement that, you know, we wear patches for a reason, and those are to help people identify. Just like if you were in the military, it helps
Sure.
identify what unit you're part of or maybe what your specialty is.
hmm
You know, we have guys that wear medic patches. That those patches, well, in this world, you don't know if that means anything. But if you're in the
In the club life.
motorcycle world and you see a patch, you know, I mean, what you have? How many sayings out there that are on
Totally.
different cuts? That you know, you ask somebody, well, what does that mean? I don't know if I should tell you. This got a lot of bad words in it. You know, so, but yeah, we get harassed just as much.
That's surprising, to be honest. I would totally, you know, you guys are my first, you know, I've done a lot of different interviews with a guy named Insane Throttle. You know, he was a co-host of mine, and me and him, we ran the show. Just it was called the Hollywood and Mike Show. Nothing too crazy of a name, but you know, that's where initially I got my start on YouTube. Anyways, was interviewing a lot of different club guys, club members, and stuff like that. So you guys are the first LEMC I've ever interviewed or spoke with. And so, I mean, just like I was saying, the messages that I was getting from the guys in the UK talking to me about the club was like, hey, look, we stay in our own lane, man. We don't mess, you know, we don't
We
sit here
don't.
and try to
That's our
disrespect
big.
anybody.
That,
And that's what
not
caught my
gonna.
eye.
yeah.
I'm not going to
I stay
disrespect
in my
somebody
lane.
and show up at a place that I know for a fact that is their hangout. That is theirs. That's their
Right.
place. I need to respect them.
That's
And
not my.
I'm not going in there to push around somebody just because, oh, I'm an ex-police officer. Whoopie freaking do.
Right.
You know, it was a job. I got paid. I got paid to do a job. And that's why I say there's a lot of bad cops out there and there's a lot of good cops out there. There are cops that are out there to protect the public and to be there.
Totally. Yep. And that actually live that life, you know, where they actually are looking for the betterment of their, you know, the people that they serve in that area. And it's hard because a lot of the times it seems like we are always out to be the bad people in the viewpoint of the cops, you know, or the police rather. It's just we're kind of frowned upon being that we chose, you know, our certain lifestyle. So we get harassed for it all the time. And that's essentially where the stigma, you know, really does come from because, you know, I mean, the last time I got pulled over on my bike, I was doing 3 miles per hour over the speed limit. Okay. And I was doing 53 and a 50 and I got pulled over and ticketed You know what I mean? Just because I was wearing a patch. And so, because I know if I were anybody else, they would have just turned a blind eye and not give a fuck.
If you would have had that real pretty Harley Davidson jacket on and a backpack, and you were just riding along, and you weren't looking around, you were paying attention directly to the road, they wouldn't have said anything. But because you had a patch and because you were looking the way that you look, and I'm sorry, you're not going to judge a book by its cover. I work in healthcare now.
Wow, that's what a change of you know, career.
It's a change of careers.
Yep.
But I'm still into the service of public. I started out, you know, I haven't been a police officer since 2004.
Wow. Okay,
I went back to college and got another degree.
20 years.
Yeah. And I've been in my field now, and I work with micro preemies and neonatal in the NICU. I'm a respiratory therapist. I manage their lungs, and you know, so I mean, I'm a big burly guy with a mohawk. You know, I mean, got tattoos everywhere, but when mama needs me in that delivery room to help that baby, there's nobody caring that I was a cop at one time.
No, and I feel that. You know, and I was actually going to bring that up was
anybody.
The stigma of doing something that you did 20 years ago, and it's still being looked at and evaluated kind of at all times, that you're in the club life. How does that make you feel, to be honest?
Honestly, it feels just like if I was on that other side of the line. I mean, I have to almost justify everything that we do, and whether or not it's going to make law enforcement look bad or the motorcycle world look bad or things like that.
You got both to worry about, to be honest. I understand that, you know.
And my thing is that I used to work with a gentleman at a hospital, and he was radiology, so he took X-rays and things like that. He was an X-ray tech. He was a member of the Banditos.
Okay.
And we talked club all the time. We got along famously. We were both in healthcare. But that, just because he was with another club and that club was the Banditos, that's got nothing to do with anything. He is a man and he did a job.
The patch,
that's it.
The patch doesn't define the man. The man defines the patch.
You know, just because they have Hell's Angels on the back, or they have Cossacks, or whatever club out there that has the so-called bad rap. I'm sorry, but their fathers, their brothers, their husbands.
That's something that we've been trying to explain on our side for the longest, it seems like, too, is that is often overlooked on our side a lot of the times, is like we're always put out to be like these bad outlaw personnel, you know, that we don't give a fuck about, you know, family, and we don't have, like, I don't know where this whole shit came from, but it's so far from the truth. You know, we are for the 99.9% of us are all about family and taking care of business and stuff like that, in the sense of like taking care of your own, and being you know, wanting for us to be able to be just men at plain heart, just being able to go out and ride with our brothers and not be viewed as some
less
sort
than.
Of like terrible, exactly, less than. And so that's the stigma that, and I'm sure you guys deal with it all the time as well. And that is something that, you know, that's where a lot of that stigma comes from as well, because we get harassed on the street too.
But the best question is how do we break that stigma?
Right.
The thing is,
the biggest hurdle. It's the hardest question.
It is. And I mean, it starts with conversations like this. That's how essentially that works.
It starts with dialogue, starts with talking.
If you understand,
I guarantee you that one day there's going to be one of the members in this organization that's going to do something stupid, make a bad choice, but does that make the organization any less than what it is?
Right.
You know, everybody likes to say criminal conspiracy and, you know, RICO and all this kind. Really, we are a actual charity. We are a public charity.
Mm-hmm.
Which basically we are what they would classify as tax exempt. So if a person donates to us, I get to write a receipt, and then that person gets to take that off of their taxes.
Right. No,
You have a lot of organizations like that. Believe it or not, there are a lot of other clubs that have no law enforcement in them whatsoever. They're the same thing.
Yep. And that, I mean, essentially my club is the same thing in the sense of, we're traditional MC and we have a 501c3, you know what I mean? And, a lot of these clubs and a lot of people in the media have no idea that these organizations do stuff like this, and it's so overlooked. So it's unfortunate for us in the culture because we do so much, and of course none of it is going to be highlighted in the media because
God, no.
Of course it doesn't sell. You know what I mean?
Well,
what does sell
why.
is lies and manipulation equals money, in my opinion. That's how the media works. So of course they're never going to tell anybody that we do any sort of good.
Well, I mean,
so it's hard.
Shows like this are a way for a person to stay. And the way I look at it is because you were willing to talk with us and, kind of get to know what we're about. To me, you're one of those types of people. You don't judge something just because of what somebody else has said.
Right. Correct. You open the book up. And what I say is I open the book up and read the pages, you know what I mean? And a lot of people don't do that in that sense of, I don't like to live my life in ignorance and arrogance. You know what I mean?
That's right.
I like to try to be as open-minded about things as possible, because oftentimes when we dive into someone else's lifestyle and or culture, oftentimes that's when we learn the most.
Well, yeah, because we assume a lot. We assume a lot because of hearsay. And we say, oh, I read this article on Facebook. Really? Facebook? That's like, I always laugh and see people, they come into the hospital and they'll say stuff like, I walked through the grocery store and I smelt fish and I had an allergic reaction.
What? Yeah, for real.
I'm sitting there thinking, okay, well, we're going to treat you just like any other patient.
I'm sure you guys get some people that say some weird shit.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is why would there's no reason to judge someone. I'm a human being. You're a human being. It doesn't matter if this person does this with another human being. I don't care. It's none of my business.
Right. No, I feel that as well. Yeah, absolutely. You guys good for taking a couple of questions?
Shoot.
All right.
Not literally, but yeah, all the questions.
Right. So let's see. We got a question here. Why would any active Leo want to be a part of something that most of them try and destroy?
You have a lot of police officers out there that have a background in the military. Most people don't just go straight out of school and become a cop. And the thing is that they don't want, I don't think anybody would want, but you understand, this is my opinion. Sure. There were never any intentions on anyone that I ever stopped or arrested or anything like that might have been in an organization. My goal was never to tear something down. The officers are just like anybody else. They like that kind of community. They like that kind of bond between brothers. And my thing is I don't know about y'all, but I had sisters. So I look at it like this. If I could have a sister at home and she could whoop my butt, why can't I let a sister, if that woman can ride a bike, she can shoot a gun and she can fight a war, why can't she ride with us?
That's cool.
I mean, but that's our perspective.
No, that's right. That's your guys' ordeal, right?
People are like, that's awesome. But I don't believe officers intentionally mean to tear something down. But like I said, you got a lot of bad cops out there. And you got a lot of bad cops that the good cops.
It seems like from my experience, a lot of the ego gets in the way, and then all of a sudden.
I mean, I'll be honest. If you took a poll and you asked how many officers were bullied in school, I guarantee you it'd be probably about 70% or more.
I guarantee that. That's something that a lot of us have actually spoke about.
So you get guys, and we used to say people get a badge, they put it on, and they think it's this massive, shield and their head gets this freaking big and they think, oh, I'm untouchable. Really?
Right. And that's something, you know, because I mean, we've even got things on our side that make us get viewed as bad as well.
Well,
And
I
so
see that. Well, they say,
I can look at both sides, you know.
yeah. I mean, hey, my uncle was in prison, but I love the man.
Right.
He made a bad choice. And granted, I don't like the way he was treated because they tried to use him to bust. I'm sorry, you caught him, then he goes to jail. Then leave the man alone.
Yep.
He don't need to be your snitch. He
That's
don't need to run around and try to spy on. You ain't got the balls to come in and confront me and accuse me to my face.
Totally. Yep.
Sorry, you don't treat people that way.
And yeah, so that's, you know, this is exactly what we were talking about, is this is how we, you know, break the stigmas of this stuff, is not only, you know, changing ourselves, but we have to, you know, you can't just only change yourself. You have to kind of show people and lead by example. And I believe that's something that you guys are doing with your guys' mission statement, your guys' I mean, I can tell by what you guys do, you know, on the, at least from what I can see from the outside looking in.
Oh yeah.
You know, because I did, of course, my research. I checked you guys out online. You know what I mean? I looked up your website.
Yeah, you can find my criminal record and everything.
And that too, I'm sure.
You find my driving record. It's all public record. Yeah,
that's right.
I want the organization that I'm part of and that I started. I want it to be as transparent as possibly can be.
Let them ask for it.
Facts. Yep.
All right.
So let's see what we got here. We got Bees are saying, question, saying you aren't accepted by traditional clubs and a majority of law enforcement have having a general dare, I say, hate for clubs and bikes in general. Why would you want to eliminate clubs? And then he goes on to say, hold on. There's a lot of these different questions. So let me scroll up.
No problem, man.
We got, let's see, hold on. Scroll. Damn, you guys in the chat just going crazy and couldn't fit it into one freaking concise.
Just so everybody knows, no, I'm just stupid. I'm not over here like screen recording or shit.
No, it wouldn't matter even if you were. It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter even if you were, dude. I mean,
I'm not
being recorded right now, anyways.
Advanced with y'all.
Yeah. No, he's over there in the corner. You know, trying.
It's all good. I'm open to talk to anybody.
I'll kind of touch on that.
Go ahead.
There are a lot of clubs out there that claim to be law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of clubs out there that claim to be the so-called 1%. They have clubs that they classify as outlaws. They have clubs that they classify as gangs and stuff like that. And you know what? They're right. Those exist. Those things exist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Just like secret organizations within organizations, they exist. They've always existed.
That's right.
The thing is that I love motorcycles. I've been riding bikes since I was a teenager.
Oh, that's cool. You know, so
I mean,
a lot of guys join the club life right when they get into motorcycle riding, and that's something that I always say, like, dude, like, hang around for a minute. You know, learn to ride a bike first. You know,
not every club is for every person, and not every club is for every person.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you have what they call the weekend warriors. You have the guys that only ride fair weather rider. I don't know. I kind of went through a tornado. Well, we got missed by about 4 or 5 different tornadoes that touched down in Texas. And we were riding from Dallas to Austin for a memorial ride. And I'm going to tell you, there were a lot of, it was pretty much law enforcement. But, you know, people think that law enforcement get put up on these pedestals and get all this special treatment. Even to this day, we're having to fight to keep a memorial that honors those officers that died in the line of duty.
Right.
They're wanting to rip down the memorial, and we went to this ride to try to help save that. That's our history. These go back all the way to the 1700s. These men's names.
It's just the same as if we would do with PGR.
I think it's like anything else. Law enforcement clubs, motorcycle enthusiasts, bike riders, they get a bad rap because people think that just because they grow a beard or have a tattoo I mean, look at now. Tattoos are more widely accepted in professional careers.
It's true. It's true. I mean, a lot for a very long time. I mean, my father, he about had a nervous breakdown when I ended up getting tattooed as a kid.
I
Yes,
know
they
everybody.
are
I know everybody
big
has a
decisions.
scar. I know everybody has a scar that ever put that first earring in, and their daddy decided to yank it and grab it and snatch it out of your ear.
Yep.
You know, I mean,
it was kind of the same situation. My dad was like, dude, you're never going to be able to get a job, blah, blah, blah. And then
Yeah.
meanwhile, I had a full on career in the harbor. Yeah. I mean, granted, it's not an office job or nothing, but they didn't care, you know what I mean? And so it is becoming widely more accepted. And I'm sure that even the police have had probably to change their tune on, people having tattoos and shit.
Oh
Because I
yeah, because
knew
now
for a
you
long
see all
time.
these police officers with hand tattoos, arm
Yep.
tattoos. To me, my tattoos are for me. They're on my body. They're not affecting you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You
And
know,
they shouldn't affect you, but people definitely have their their own opinions, you know what I mean?
but
So
as far as us trying to, in the law enforcement world, I don't think anyone is trying to bring anything bad to break anything down. I mean, you know, police officers are part of their own club. They if they're the right kind of club, then they're going to stay in their lane. They're going to do their thing. They're not going to worry about what y'all do, what anybody else does. They're worried
well,
about them and what
we're
they
just
do.
so used to informants, and
Oh yeah.
police officers
Oh.
trying to like come in
Well,
to
you know what they say,
to
the
the
biggest
culture.
difference. The biggest difference between clubs that have law enforcement and clubs that technically aren't law enforcement based. The difference is we know who the cops are.
Right, exactly. You guys are open about it within
Yeah.
the your own organization.
And
There's no secrets.
And we still get
I'll be honest.
the same
Oh, I'm
shit.
sure. I'm sure.
We have
here's an
members.
event.
We have
He
members that
pays.
are in our organization that aren't police officers, and believe it or not, they used to be in other clubs that
Sure.
had less reputable reputations and things like that. But that doesn't change who they are.
Sure. Absolutely.
The problem is when you go into Walmart and you go grocery shopping, right?
Sure.
And you go to the checkout. You're checking out. And the cart behind you, you just say, guess what? What's your birthday? Today is. Well, I'm paying for all your groceries,
Mm.
right? It doesn't matter, LE or not.
Sure.
I'm buying somebody else's food, groceries, all that.
Yep.
And I walk out to get on my bike with my couple things. And as soon as I leave the parking lot, I get pulled over because of my patch. It doesn't matter that I just bought somebody else's food.
Right. It doesn't.
Doesn't care what good you do.
Nope.
People don't always see the good. They only
We get
want to see
overlooked all the time too. It
well,
happens.
no. Well, they also
Yes.
embellish a lot of stuff too on
That too.
that aspect. I mean, I'm sorry, but there's just certain unbelievable things. And I mean, didn't I just hear recently on the news that Trump has a Hell's Angel as part of his
Well, he had
entourage?
you mean so there was Chuck Zito showed up in his Trump trial.
Oh,
Who's
okay, that's what it was.
Hell's Angel.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah,
the
I
thing.
mean, I don't think he's
But
been
that's what they
in the
see
Hells
him
Angels.
as. That's what they see him as. They don't see him
Totally.
as that individual. They automatically associate him with Hell's Angels. And I'm sorry, he hasn't been a member of Hell's Angels in how long?
It's been multiple
He's still
years.
his own man.
Yeah, he's his own man.
And let me show you something. This is being totally transparent. So let me go ahead and bring up this screen. So this is my YouTube channel right here where I do all my, different videos. And so as you can see, only 3 days ago, I did a whole thing. Chuck Zito joins Trump in court.
Yep.
And even I titled it Chuck Zito, ex-Hell's Angel, joins Trump in court, because that is exactly what the media puts him as. Because I literally report what the motorcycle club news is and stuff like that. And then I break down what I believe to be right and wrong within the media. Hence why I've gotten demonetized on my show, because I go against the mainstream media all the time. And so I
Well,
feel that, it's something that people get labeled. And once they get labeled for life. And something similar that you have been a police officer in over 20 years. And yet that's something that's going to be regurgitated for the rest of your life.
for the rest of my life. And I guarantee you, when my daughter goes to read my eulogy,
Right.
somewhere in there, my daddy was a good man. Okay, that's her opinion. There's probably a lot of people out there that don't think so.
Right. No, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. I mean, there's going to be, I'm sure out of the time that you've spent, as a police officer, I'm sure some of the people you've arrested have been like, no, hell no, like, definitely isn't, but hey, they're all different opinions, right? And so
Right.
all you can do is do the best for, the best thing you can always just work and be the better person at all times. And, show them that why they're wrong, because social stigma is forever going to be a thing. You know what I mean? There's not going to be ever any change in that.
But how do we break the stigma? And that is what we're focused on. How do we break it?
And I don't think
can't
break
it without dialogue.
I don't think there's a defining answer. I think that there's a lot of aspects on how to change things. There's a lot of opinions on how to change things. The problem is that you got to do those things. If you don't start doing those things, then change will never happen.
Right.
And,
no, that's true.
And don't get me wrong, things have changed. I mean, motorcycles are more impressive and they're fancy, but now you have a lot more people going back to the older style bikes because it was all about the ride. It was all about the wind. It wasn't about, and I'll be the first to say I got like 8 speakers on my freaking bike. So it's not about the sound system. It's, most of that stuff was for cars.
Yep.
I didn't ride a bike to high school just because, I thought as far as I was concerned, it was cool as hell to ride.
Yep. I feel that. That's how I felt.
Women loved it. My mom used to tell them when they went out with me, honey, that's the safest thing you'll ever put between your legs.
Damn, that's fucking. I'm gonna steal that. I'm gonna steal that. I like that. Mm-hmm. So we've got another one of these questions. My brother SSW says, what if the police officers was or is dirty or dishonorable, less than honorable discharge comes around? Are they welcome or told not allowed? That's a good question.
Okay. So, but just like anything, at one point in time, we had a member, and I won't say their names or anything like that, but this individual spent time in prison and, then come to find out it was this massive thing. And his sentence was basically exonerated and he was released and everything else. Just because he was arrested for something, the man was innocent. Why am I going to hold that against him? Even a person that is guilty of some kind of crime. What was that crime? Did they kill somebody? Did they hurt a kid? Did they beat a woman?
Sure. Those things
were they smoking weed? Were they snorting coke or doing meth?
It's just like
I've done all of them.
It's just like
I was a police officer. Come on. Let's be honest. Everybody knows Bill Clinton inhaled. Okay, let's just get it over with, right?
As a California resident, look. This is my coffee mug. You know what I mean?
I love that coffee mug. I love that coffee.
You know what I mean? Like, that's definitely all behind me. But hey,
no matter what, it's about paperwork, right?
Yeah, no, it is. And that's going to be the hard part. That's going to be the hard part for me moving over into the South. I'm moving to, Alabama. So I'm like, oh man, like that's a tough one because the South, they fucking hate it, obviously. So it's like, man.
No, they have. I think they have something in Alabama. I think.
Yeah, I think they've got medical, if you go the medicinal route, because like here it's completely legal.
I know a couple of doctors. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny because that is exactly what I would have to do.
Yeah. I'm just glad the DEAs decide to reclassify it.
Yes, and that's also another thing that I reported on. Funny that you said that. Let's see, just a few days ago, it was the day of, 2 weeks ago, I put it right here, DEA potentially change marijuana classification. And yeah, that was another one of a very interesting show, because this is something that I would hope that goes even off the scheduling list. I mean, it's definitely a good thing it's going to schedule from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3, but I just don't want to see people getting arrested for something as lame as someone that smokes it, and no, I'm not going to smoke it and ride. You know what I mean?
What about, hang on, what about the veterans, right?
Right.
You go to the VA,
And
there has been multiple studies with LSD, psilocybin.
See, that's the only thing I never understood.
Right? There's so many studies.
There
the
is.
military is always, no matter what, going to have it first.
Yep, you're very right about that.
You're a fucking guinea pig. Even when you get out, you're a fucking guinea pig.
For life.
I take probably 12 different medications. I think 2 of them for blood pressure. He takes 3 different fucking handfuls a day.
Yep. I feel that, because you guys are forever underneath like that guinea pig, thing. That's very interesting, and that's for damn sure. And it's true, a lot of people want to dismiss the fact that it can be beneficial, but and I'm not putting my own personal, I'm trying to be as objective as possible, because I do understand that I am someone that reports and not someone that just reports on what I know. I have to think objectively. But to think that people are still locked up right this second. Meanwhile, let's say, there's right now it's legal 100% in California, but there are people still locked up
for a crime that's legal now.
Correct.
You would think that someone smart enough would
realize. Didn't you wipe the board?
Exactly.
You would think, okay, look, if they were in for this and it's legal now, then we need to reconsider what their sentence was for what they did.
Right.
There's a big difference between running around with a half an ounce versus 350 keys. There's
totally
obvious difference.
No, there very much is. And then, definitely, I know a lot of people that got, charged for distribution for under an ounce. And it's like, how are you going to say someone's distributing with an ounce of weed? That's crazy to me. But that's how, law enforcement, back in the day, viewed all of this. And now, so it's definitely hard. It's definitely a touchy subject for some. But yeah, man, it's weird how things change and ideologies change and stuff like that. And
things, eventually things have to change.
Yep.
I mean, there's, what's the point of us killing each other? What's the point of 2 people that ride motorcycles argue over whatever?
I'm not softballing there, Beezer. Don't worry. I'm allowing them to do their comments, and I'm not rushing them. I got you.
Because I'll be honest. How many cops have went undercover to bust up a drug ring or to look for kid trafficking? Now, I'm sorry, but I don't think any kid should be trafficked. Period.
Oh, of course. No, that's I would hope and obvious.
And if there's somebody out there that is being trafficked or is being forced into servitude, I'm sorry, but that's still wrong.
Right. And here's another question for you guys. Beezer says, Mike, and I guess this is what he was referring to that I didn't see. Mike, why aren't you holding their fire? Why aren't you holding their fire? I want to understand why they would want to dress and act like people that have a general hate for one another. Not going to see a biker dressed like a cop. Man, that's a hard question to answer.
Well, I'm sorry that my physical appearance is upsetting to people that feel that I grew this beard just so I could ride a motorcycle, or that I got tattoos on my body, or that I have piercings.
I had all of this shit.
I had this
before
stuff.
I even got a bike and even started this, or even helped.
I mean,
got accepted. I
mean,
grew up both
I get
ways.
people. I do get the fact that people, they don't like that others do certain things. I get it.
Mhm.
But to me, that is them pushing their ideology onto me. I dress this way every day. I'm not changing for anybody.
And nor you shouldn't either. You know
And
what
I
mean?
would never ask. And I don't look, if I see a guy with tattoos and beard and he's wearing a cut and I see him get out of a car,
I don't.
am I going to walk up and look at him and say, hey, you need to take that cut off? I didn't see you pull up on no bike.
Right.
I mean,
However, those guys that are in cuts, I don't give a fuck what cut it is. I have 6 kids myself,
Mhm.
and I'd expect any man, I don't give a fuck about your cut. If my child was wandering around and said, I can't find my dad,
I would expect that dude to stand up and say, you know what? I'll protect you until we can find him.
It doesn't matter about that.
Right.
We teach our kids, you look at the
You
person.
go to that big burly fuck, that dude that's all tatted up, looks scary as shit. Go tell him, I'm lost. I can't find.
You know why you don't find that many bikers that are serial killers? Because we all got tattoos and everybody can see us. We like to ride too much. We like to get out. I mean,
no matter what.
I don't know. Was Bundy a biker?
I don't know. Honestly.
I don't think he was, because I don't ever see him on a bike.
Right.
But I mean, I get that people don't like the fact that there are a lot of guys out there that they create motorcycle clubs and they hide behind the fact that they were or are or retired police officer. I never judge a book by its cover. I never look at something as defined exact. There's always reasoning, or there is always an understanding of how mistakes were made. I mean, if a 21-year-old man is dating a 17-year-old girl, but they went to high school together.
Yeah. It's what are you going to put morally correct there?
Right. What's morally correct? I'm sorry, but there were 17 years between my mom and dad.
Mhm.
So does that mean that my daddy was a pedophile?
Right. I get that too, because my parents are 10 years difference.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're still married to this day.
People don't like it. People don't like it. They don't like change, or they want too much change too fast, and society's not ready for it.
Right.
But when it comes to me, I've got 3 bikes behind me, but there's only me and him.
Respect.
Right.
We respect those that respect us. It's earned. It's not just given. And I would expect that no one would give me respect unless I earned it.
True. Yep. I dig that a lot. And let's see, we're going to go ahead and go with the last one I see here, which is, be careful. You're going to have a lot of fire with these questions.
Go for it.
Question, you say your mission statement is to lessen mental health, but Leo caused so many mental health problems for us in our families. So do you think it's hypocritical?
How do we change it?
Well, no, let's not. I'm not even looking at the fact of trying to change something. I want to answer that in a direct fashion.
Sure.
Because I don't want people to misinterpret my intentions, as far as the simple aspect is that people get tunnel vision, and they want to look at things with a direct microscope, and they want to say, oh, well, why is a Leo doing this? He's a man.
Yep. Naturally.
He's human.
Yep.
He is part of society. Just because he chose to be that type of person, does that mean that he is that type of person? Does that mean that every single police officer that puts on that badge is a bad, manipulative, on the take? A person, you can't think so linear. You got to be open-minded to the simple fact that just because I want to protect people and I want to enforce laws, that those laws is what kind of creates. I mean, otherwise, what we would have straight up anarchy.
No, and you're right. You do for every.
Even
you
in the
have to
bike
have
world,
law and order. You have to
in the
have law
bike
and order.
world, there are rules, and you stick with those rules.
You have to have law and order in
That's
society.
why we say that we, as a club, try to be as respectful as possible to the other people on the road.
Right.
I'm not pointing out that it might be 1%, it might be this percent, it might be this. I mean, I don't care. The guy, I wave at everybody that's on the bike. Doesn't matter what's on the back. I see what's coming at me. I don't care if I see colors. It don't matter. He's on a bike. I'm waving. If that bike is broke down, I'm stopping. I don't care that he has a different cut. There was a club, I'm not going to say their names, but one of our guys broke down and they were coming to a funeral and they picked our guy up, even though he was an LE. They picked him and his bike up and brought him all the way to my door. And when we offered to pay them, they said no.
Yep.
Thing is, that's what you do for people.
And to answer your question, Frank, no, man, I report all type of news, whether it be geopolitics, as you know, world news, biker news in general, club news. It doesn't matter if people want to come on to the show, I bring them on to the show as long as they're going to be respectful to everybody. And you know what I mean? That's my job, is not to be one-sided. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I have to allow both sides to speak.
Did he have a particular question?
Nope.
No? And I get it, man. I mean, I really do. I get the understanding that people don't like cops. But
and I'm going to go off of my personal as well and go subjective, that I'm also not a cop lover either. That's me being 100% honest, but that doesn't mean I'm not willing to hear somebody out and go, okay, I want to understand the different side, because like I said on the top, was when we dive into a culture or something that we don't know, that's oftentimes when we learn the most. And I've always been open-minded that way, not to an ignorant fact.
To be.
You know, and that's
try to be. And
that's
I hope
often,
that other
that's
people,
what you want to do. You know what I mean? And that's how we learn. So absolutely, you know, and that goes for anybody that comes onto this show. As long as you're not someone that is trying to pretend like you're something that you're not, in the fact of like for instance, like guys, remember when we interviewed Twitch on the Insane Throttle, and I guess Black Dragon was on there too, and the guy was pretending to be a 1%er, and then we found out that he was ex-law enforcement and he had tried to get into the culture and pretend to be a 1%er, and then but really do as an informant. Yes, of course, that's going to leave a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths in the media. And so as long as these guys are not pretending to be anything they're not, I don't have a problem bringing them onto the show.
I've got open transparency, and so does he. I don't give a shit. I'm not a good guy. I wasn't the best cop, nothing. Like,
so
I found home with the misfits, but I always run forward. It's always faithful, always forward.
Right.
And that's what I found was home. That's all.
And truly that's what matters in your life. And that's going to, you know, be the sentiment is finding what's
I mean,
for you.
That's for
but that's like us. But that's like us. You know, even though we're a law enforcement based motorcycle club, we are a club. We have rules. We have bylaws. We have, you know, things like that. But the biggest thing is that, does no one think that the 1% or the so-called bad guys, do y'all not think that they've ever tried to get inside an LE club?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, to be honest.
And that's the thing, is that I get that people go undercover, and they go undercover for a reason, whether it be a made up reason or a bullshit reason or whatever reason they want to justify for going undercover. They're going undercover. They're taking a very big risk to their own personal safety to try to do something that they could truly possibly feel is needed.
But the only difference in that aspect is that they couldn't arrest somebody.
That's correct.
I mean?
Right.
So I look at
and
it
the
from
thing
like
is that they are. They're pretending. They're being someone that they are not.
And yes, and that's something that I don't necessarily agree with either.
This to me this is my everyday. I get up, I go to work, I work on my bike. Well, I let people work on my bike. I don't necessarily do it because I'm a
Motherfucker,
shit
you don't
mechanic.
let people work on your shit. I work
So,
on it.
but I mean,
That's just
so I have a side business. You know what hydrographic dipping is?
No, is that like where
No.
where they do the paint where it drops in or whatever?
Something like that.
we can talk with him and
Well,
work
no.
with that later. But
So one of the things that we were trying to do things, you know, because we like helping people. So we, you know, if a person wanted to have a custom dip on a prosthetic,
That's awesome. Yep. That's how you would
we
do it too.
dip that. We
and
do dip that limb.
dip that limb. So,
Wow,
It's all
really?
I don't give a fuck. It's fucking hilarious.
so well, I was
It's dip
gonna
that
ask you if you had, if you had a
Yeah.
prosthetic that you
Send
want
it.
us to dip.
We'll dip it.
That's
It's
awesome.
free of charge.
So I just want to kind of throw that out there. But
No, I appreciate
we're
that.
regular,
That's awesome.
we're regular everyday people. We're just like anybody else. We're not
That's
trying
right.
to pretend. We're not trying to be something that we're not, because I'm not a dude that's going to walk up and just punch somebody in the face. And every person that I've met that's ridden a bike, that's not how I've ever met someone.
Right.
I've never had anybody walk up to me and stick a gun in my face and tell me to take my cut off.
Right.
Because I'm
Yep.
hoping that they would respect me enough to know that this is my property.
Yep.
This
And
is
you have a
my- this
right.
is
You have a
my
right to
thing.
do it.
This is my thing. I'm not infringing on anybody. I don't want to make somebody out to think that I'm something that I'm not. I'm not running around and doing those so-called bad things. And I'm pretty sure that some of the people that get offended because they feel that every single one of us are pretenders. Well, they're doing the same thing that police are doing to them.
Right. And that's something that you don't, and I get that, you know,
And
being
that's what
that
I
you
want to break.
judge.
That's what I
Right.
want to break. Don't judge me just because I'm an ex-police officer.
No,
I'm not going to judge a person just because they went to jail. I've been in jail.
That's exactly why I said, you know, you got to open up the book and read the pages, you know,
Yes.
and that's essentially what we're doing right here, you know, and
Yes,
that's what we want to do. And even the guys that have, you know, been, you know, have some questions for you guys, all that kind of stuff. We have, like, look at this. Hardwire 1%er says, I would never have an issue just speaking with one of these cats, but I would always be careful around them, as anybody probably
as
should.
you could be.
Yep.
You should be careful about
That's
anybody,
fine.
I agree with that. And,
especially when people start asking questions that they really shouldn't be asking.
Yep. And he says they don't deserve disrespect because of their past. Treat people the way they treat you. And that's absolutely fact.
appreciate
SSW
that.
says, I am grateful these guys came on the show. We need to hear all sides of all stories about everyone. And
May I-
go ahead.
Man.
No, go ahead.
So just because I'm not sidelining, my stupid ass is trying to keep up with y'all as well, but I know those comments are coming in quick.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you, bro, for
Of course.
putting them up. SSW, Hardwire, and Frank, dude, I get it. I love you guys have questions. We're all to answer for them. I have another program that's running because over here I have a full shop with a lift.
Nice.
So
where I'm moving to has a car lift as well, which I'm excited to use. So
Hey,
it comes with the house.
Let me
It
know.
comes with the house. So I'm stoked.
Same thing happened with us.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, came with the
What?
house.
But I got out of it and I became a tech. I'm doing a program because I didn't really have a dad. Nothing.
Wow. Yep. Heavy.
Nobody to tell me how to rotate tires, change brakes, nothing. I'm 7 certs, ASE. I'm good.
Yep.
But we do a program for kids that I'm trying to kick off.
That's cool.
You know what I mean? To where
Help
they
them
can learn.
Teach them about, there's no reason to
rotating
be
tires,
bullied.
how to change a flat, stuff
That's
like
a
that.
huge thing, because a lot of kids nowadays don't have that father figure role in their life.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I
I'm
mean?
not trying to be it. I got 6 kids. I don't
think
need
this-
any more.
I think this
Right.
is
But
I mean,
they weren't taught. They weren't taught a lot of these things.
in California. Don't they have a venda lawyer to where you put the money in and you get a divorce?
Yes.
You
there
hit
is.
that button and it's like, boom, divorce. Like everybody's willing to, we want to, some things we want to keep the same. Some things we want to change. And then when people don't want to change, they want to get mad. When people feel that they're trying to infringe on this other group, then this group gets mad.
If anybody wants to contact us, contact me. I will put in the YouTube comments.
Yeah.
My stuff.
Anybody ever has questions?
That way, I'll give you my personal cell phone number. You can call me.
That's right.
I don't care.
Cool.
I'm fully transparent. I don't care.
Like I said, if people want to know what kind of people we are and some of the things that we do, we have the guys in the UK. We have a couple different Facebook pages that different groups run. We don't all have the same exact mission. Our primary mission is to do what we can do within our community to help as many people as we can help. No questions asked.
And that's what matters, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Is helping and serve the communities for the betterment of society.
Oh, yeah.
And as Steve says, he says, I give these fellows credit for coming on the show. We don't have to agree or be friends.
That's
but it's
right.
cool to have a conversation and ask questions. And that's exactly what this is all about right here. You know what I mean?
People get offended too easy these days, and everybody wants to jump up on a pedestal and spew whatever they want to spew. And I get that. We have a constitution for a reason. Granted, not everything is upheld the way it should be.
Right.
But I don't think when you look at a marriage, when you look at raising a kid, when you look at a career, when you look at anything,
right?
Guess what? There's going to be problems. No matter how you look at it, you're going to run into problems.
Yep, exactly. Trust no one and you'll be okay. Steve says that's absolutely a fact. Let's see. We got 2 down.
I think in 10 years, the cartel being one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies in the world. No, I'm joking.
Let's see. We got Hardwire saying, I've been divorced 3 times. I wish it were that easy. Yeah, for sure. I get tired of giving away most of my shit every few years. I'm on number 4, but this one.
Keep everything in a box.
Yeah, that's right.
Keep everything in a box.
I feel that. I feel that. I feel that.
I got 4 kids. I got 3 different mamas.
Yep. That's something that, hey, I'm playing that game too.
That was a very shy number. This motherfucker was Genghis Khan.
Yeah, there you go.
Motherfucker spread seed everywhere.
That's what it was all about, is having empires, you know what I mean? So SSW says, I have met good cops. I like that meter maid. She was a kink as a dollar store garden hose, but so classy, dude. Oh man, I love it. Sorry, fellas, we all have the same struggles, but as people that chose to arrest others for crimes that don't hurt anyone, then pretend to be a part of the groups they probably have arrested. And hey, Beezer, and that's okay, and you asked your questions as well, and I'm glad that you guys are able to, whether they're hard or whatever, I'm not going to bring up
no. You know what? I will take any question and literally be 100% transparent.
So,
Beezer, dude,
if
I hate to be the guy that shows up and is like, hey bro, I arrested you, and it fucking sucks, but hey bro, are you on your own path? Am I on my own path? Are we?
I mean, don't get me wrong, let's see,
it's the
one of my exes worked in a strip club.
This motherfucker.
I mean, but hey, you want to be honest, let's be honest. I was a cop, and even as a cop, I got arrested because guess what? I got accused of a crime I didn't commit.
And guess what? A lot
and I went back. I let the system do its thing. Problem is that the system isn't perfect. It never was, it never has been, and it never will be.
Will be, right.
And if people think that that's the way things are going to be, they need to come back down to reality.
Facts. And question. 2 Down has a good question. He says, quick question. Why MC and not RC? And now I've never heard of a Leo RC before.
There
so is that even is that even a thing?
No. The RCs are riding clubs. I mean, but then again, I didn't know that there were clubs that were called side patch clubs until I went over to England.
Yep. That's a big thing over there, that it's a lot of the guys can't even wear back patches, and
I'll be honest, when we started, when we started, we pretty much were just like a basic bunch of group of friends that were a riding club. Or
Right.
were we? We were a
Yep.
bunch of guys and a bunch of gals that we didn't have a cut on. We just rode around. And then we realized that we needed more. We needed something more tangible, more hands-on, more ways for people to identify us in our particular mission and our particular way that we think about some things. We don't always agree.
Right. No,
I mean,
absolutely. And that's
you
the
know,
way it's going to be in
if,
life.
you know, if it's like people say, but you get all that stuff, people start asking, who should be president? This guy or this guy? Who are you voting for?
Yep.
Does it matter who I vote for? I vote for who I vote for.
Well,
But,
a lot of it is division tactic. You know what I
oh
mean?
yeah,
Like whether
and it's the same thing with us when it comes
it could
to
be left,
club.
right, club life. It could be, men versus women. There's so many things that are dividing us more and more. And we need to take a step back and go, well, we're all one thing as an American citizen, right? So,
Yeah.
it's hard. You know what I mean? So we're gonna end the close up the show, and we got one last question. I haven't even read it; just came in. Steve
Go
says,
for it.
question, since you are a Leo club, do you have to follow the proper protocol and get permission to be in good terms with your local dominant club, or did you just slap on a 3-piece and call it a day?
Well, let's see. When it comes to asking permission from who?
Right.
Who? I mean, if someone can tell me that this person is over me and my existence, then by all means, I will ask him and only him if I can do something.
Okay. No, that's fair. You guys have your own side,
right,
so I understand.
But in the same perspective, I want him to look at it from our point of view.
Sure. Absolutely.
If a club pops up and an LE club is the predominant club.
Sure.
I mean, what does that even mean? Predominant, largest, what numbers? I mean,
how is it necessarily defined when most people don't even know the number of people in that club?
I understand that there is a confederation of clubs and they pay dues and all that kind of good stuff. I'm sorry, my money's for my community. My money's not for anybody else. My money's for my community, for my family. And that's why we say we stay in our lane. We're not asking permission from anybody, but we're not being disrespectful and going out talking shit about another club saying that they're less than. I'm not going to do that. There's no way.
Hey, and that's honestly, there's nothing wrong in my opinion with that, with being especially on your guys' side of things. I don't see that being an issue at all. Like let's say I did that, and from my side, I'd be scrutinized to the T. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And that's something that we just can't do on our side at all. Now I understand like what you're saying, and also with the money amount being the money being that it's meant for you, your family, your people, your community. And I don't see anything wrong with that, to be honest. I think that is a very fair answer. If someone is a good person who has a good heart, I don't care what their occupation is. And I don't consider clubs that wear a diamond patch or clubs like the Banditos, Hells Angels. I don't consider them these massive criminal organizations. They're groups of freaking people that put a patch on and ride. What people think I've never bought a hat at a motorcycle rally from another organization because it was a badass looking hat. I mean, come on. Yep. And to answer ML in the chat, he says you guys still carry your badges or you retired them. Now they do have some active duty.
Yeah, we do have, but also we explain. Right. The badge does not push the patch, and that's the fucking problem.
Yep.
That's the problem.
We're not
too many LE clubs use that badge to save their ass.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you go
That's
in and
not
you
how
start,
it goes.
you
And
go
that's what
in,
we have a problem with on
yeah,
our
yeah.
side.
you
Yes,
don't go
no,
into, you don't go
nut the
into any
fuck up
bar.
and be a dude.
You don't go into any
Right.
bar and start flipping out a badge thinking that you're better than somebody else. You put your
Right.
freaking pants on just like anybody else.
You
Yeah.
can't be touched.
Hey, you know what?
Everybody's
I use a bidet. So I do sometimes wipe my ass different than some people. But
There
I'm
you
pretty
go.
sure, that we're human beings. And if a person wants to go in and pose, then blame that person. Don't blame somebody just because we're a little bit different.
Right. Right.
I'm not
Facts.
posing. You come to my house, this is how I dress. Now, sometimes I have a different hat on.
Right.
But
And there's nothing wrong with that either. You know what I mean?
I don't want to scrutinize anybody just because they put a patch on. That
Mhm.
doesn't mean that they're a bad person.
Right.
Just because they're part of an organization that certain people in those organizations make mistakes and do crimes doesn't mean every single person is a criminal. I mean,
No,
come on.
That's the stance that we take a lot of the times, and breaking that social stigma is damn near a huge uphill battle that I'm facing all the time because of what I do, what I've decided to do professionally and also on the street. It's something
But
that it's hard to go up against uphill battles like that. You
it's
know what I
hard to
mean?
take a
And
side. And that's
it is.
what I guess in a point, that's what I'm trying to say is that you shouldn't have to pick a side.
Right. Right.
I
Well,
mean,
hey,
I have friends, I have people that are family that are associated or part of other clubs like that.
oh, I see. You're specifically asking them, ML. Got you. No, he got out of, which is we got a little text on the left over there.
That's
He
me.
hasn't been a part of law enforcement for 20 years.
Yeah, for 20 years.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm out since 09.
And yeah,
And that's a long time, like 15
and
years as
not,
well.
that's what I'm saying. You do have a
If I
lot
go
of
back
clubs,
into law enforcement, I mean,
and that's the
I
thing.
don't agree with things.
I don't agree with all the rules. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of control, and I mean, that's the whole purpose of riding a bike is to, I mean, be out there, be within that weather, Mother Nature, and the environment. I mean, come on, that's what a bike riding is about. It's about that feel,
Right.
the,
No,
the,
it is.
the serenity that you get from riding. I mean, granted, I ain't got a lot of hair to blow, but man, it's fun watching that little patch just flop around.
There you go. Yep. And that's when you're probably feeling the best, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I know for damn sure when I'm on the bike, that's when I feel, the best. And so and that's what it's all about at the end of the day is us riding together and making sure that we have an eye on each other and care about one another and the family values and all of that.
I
Again, I
appreciate,
ask, how do you break that stigma?
Mhm.
If I see anybody, I don't give a fuck about your color, race, anything. We all believe red. I don't give a fuck. If I
Yep.
see you pulled over on the side of the road, are you gonna get mad that I, in an LEMC, show up to literally I pulled over because I saw you were broke down?
hey, don't think that
Right.
people wave us off just like anybody else. If I try to stop and help a lady, she looks at me and goes, "Oh dear God, lock the doors, kids."
Right.
But
and that's no matter
that's
what
one
because
type
of social
of,
stigmas.
yeah, that's one type of stereotyping. You
Yep.
see the guy like that. But when it comes between club
And do
to
I
club,
carry a badge? No, I do not, ML. I've never
No,
been a part of law enforcement.
No.
yeah, I don't carry a badge.
I don't
I do have an ID that has my name on it and the fact that I was a police officer, but that's pretty much about it. That's all I have. I think I have a certificate somewhere because
Now,
the damn sure ain't hanging on my wall.
out of curiosity, I don't know how it works, and so I've never actually asked this question, and then we'll close out. But
Okay.
this is genuine curious. Do you guys still have the possibility of, or the ability rather, to still arrest somebody once you're out of the, the force and stuff like that? Are you able to do that?
We call it a citizen's arrest.
Right.
Anybody can do a citizen.
Anybody can do that.
If
Yeah.
you don't have an
If
agency,
an
carrying
agency is
you,
not maintaining your license, then you
in
have
Texas,
no
you're too
authority.
close. No.
And every state is different. And that's the thing. England, they don't carry guns. Texas, even my babysitter carries a gun. I mean,
Yep,
come on.
and it's
We
just
all
you're
have
gonna have different
LTC.
areas,
Yeah.
different regions act differently, and so Yeah, man. So, you know, I want to thank you guys for coming on to the show onto, you know, something like this, which is, I know, hard to do. I'm sure,
It
like
is.
we were even saying beforehand, that there are going to be scrutiny. You know, no matter what, you know, I deal with it all the time myself, and so I feel that, and I understand the pressures it can do, especially being on an online presence like this. So
Oh yeah.
it means a lot to, you know, not just the people here right now, but the
Exactly.
people that will watch this video as well.
Yes.
And that's
I
what
would.
you know. I don't
And
necessarily have to be best friends with somebody
to
or
talk to
to
them.
exactly. It's like, hey, there is nothing wrong with respectfully having a conversation to understand the other side. And you know, we have to live on this planet together. So why not, you know, try your absolute damnedest? Now, of course, I understand also, as you know, Dr. Harley says, you know, once a cop, always a cop. I won't trust any of them. And that's cool too.
There
And I don't trust them either. That's just being honest. But
and
that doesn't
I'll be
mean
honest. I'll be honest.
Even
I
hardwired.
don't trust every
right.
cop I come across either.
No, and I
I
wouldn't.
get what hardwired just said. I need
You
some
know, yes.
cops that
The
drove
the
their
old
lives.
the old saying is once a
Yes.
cop, always a cop. In a sense, you're exactly right. Once a cop, always a cop as far as mentality, but
Yep.
not as far as, you know, I still have a moral compass.
Yes.
And that's the ideal, is that moral compass is what drives me to do what I do
Facts.
and to be the
And that's
person.
the way you guide
And
your life.
and me seeing the side of both the criminal, because I have criminals in my family that don't think I'm not a criminal. I stole stuff when I was a kid. I got caught shoplifting. I mean,
And by no means is us.
is any
coming
one
on here
person
to
better than
be-
another when it comes to this type of the
This
way
is
I
how
live
you
my
open
life?
dialogue.
No, absolutely.
I welcome scrutiny when it comes to certain things, because I love to hear other people's opinions about something, because sometimes that opinion can open my mind to the possibility of either agreeing or disagreeing.
And I
Totally.
can't know what you went through without being.
And that's why
with
some
you.
things I can say, yes, I completely understand, because I have been there. I have seen it. I have dealt with it. I've dealt with the racism. I have dealt with the sexism.
Yep.
I have dealt with the inadequacies of my education wasn't high enough, or
Totally.
I went to the wrong school. If I didn't go to this school, I should have went to this. I mean, it's out there.
To me, it's
bigotry
all division. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know,
And at the end
whether
of the
you
day,
did
if
this,
I
you did
saw any person, didn't matter what, if that person is thirsty and that person is hungry and I've got it, I'll give it.
right. No, and I feel that, and that's a good way to live your life. You know, what
But
I
I'm
mean?
not gonna.
And
I'm
I
not
try to do
gonna.
the same.
I'm one of those types of people that I'm not gonna tell people that I'm sorry for the things that I've done, because
No, you shouldn't do
I've
that
done
either,
them.
unless they're egregious. You know what I
And
mean?
even if I did something bad, that's for me to have to live with, just like any other person. You know, the person that hits you, do you think they regret doing what they did?
Of course not.
They could not. It's you know, you don't know. You can't get in their head, but how they treat you, that tells a lot about a person.
Yep, and you're exactly right. You're exactly right on that. Well,
You know,
that was
someone-
I think that right there is a perfect for us to, you know what I mean,
end.
like to
Yes.
get. That was a perfect way to end the show, I think, and you know, I like that, and exactly, Big Red. You know, people got to, you know, come to the right place. They came to the right place to get their honest feedback, honest opinions. People that ask questions that are genuinely curious.
And
there
I
were things
can't
that
get
I was
offended.
curious on. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I don't get offended.
There's no way I can offend you or you can offend me. Our opinions may not agree. That doesn't mean you offended me.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's human nature.
I welcome
a
questions.
lot of people
I
don't
welcome the
know how to take it.
continuance.
So
Yeah, I
that's
welcome
good.
the continuance of the questions. If anybody wants to send us an email, you got our website, Kaotic Angels, LEMC.com. You can go there. You can drop us a line. You drop us a line on Facebook. I'm open to any kind of open dialogue with anybody.
Yeah, man. And that's what it's about right there, you know, and that's what I, even off the show, I'm very, you know, I keep, you know, where people can ask me anything at any time. And I'm very open about that as well. You know, I'm very transparent on my side and what I do, and I have to, because I'm very much held accountable
For
for the
people
things
to
that I
look at
do.
you and believe what you say,
Hmm.
they have to know that what you're saying is real.
Absolutely.
That
Absolutely true.
it's not some made up crap. This interview with us wasn't something that we sat down and we planned what questions we were gonna and the things that we were gonna talk about. We
Hmm.
didn't prepare answers for anything. Everything that
Nope.
I'm saying, I'm saying just what I'm
Off the
thinking.
lip.
I'm not. I don't have anything prepared, or I'm
No,
not
and me
trying to
neither.
get
And
on a
that's, I've
pedestal.
never done it that way. You know, I just naturally go, you know, if to me, I know the subject matter enough to ask questions where I don't like to necessarily write things out, because then it feels scripted and then not
Yes,
genuine. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
and
So
I want
that's,
to be as genuine as possible.
yeah, and that was the best way to do it. And SSW, I appreciate you saying excellent show, lots of things addressed. Thank you all for making this happen. I appreciate it. And see, that's what's up, man. And
We appreciate it
ML,
too. I mean,
good
Yeah.
show,
trust me,
MB.
for us to be on here is truly an honor and a privilege.
Right.
And
Yep.
we
And I
we we
appreciate you.
appreciate the fact that you were willing to allow us to come on
Of
here
course. Of course.
and speak.
Let's.
You know,
I
because
mean,
I know that's the whole thing, is we all have, you know, truly a First Amendment in this country. And I believe that
Yeah.
it's a good thing to be able to understand, no matter what, if you agree, disagree, whatever, it should be irrelevant. You know, it should be about, hey, getting the information out there. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. Hardwire says that's today's youth that gets butthurt by every damn thing. These guys aren't young enough. Luckily, Mike missed that trend from his youth. Not all younger ones are like that, but a lot are. Yeah, and that's very much a fact, bro. And it's brutal. People just don't know how to take it. I don't know if they just didn't get enough criticism as a kid or something like that, and don't know how to actually
What did
handle
that guy tell me?
situations.
I think it all started when they made the 8th place trophy.
Yeah, no, that's a fact of a
you
statement
got
right
a
there, bro.
participation trophy.
Yeah.
Fuck
I
off.
never got one, you know, and I graduated in 2013, so that gives you guys a little bit of
Oh,
knowledge of
damn.
how young I am, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, we were still
yeah, man.
writing on those chalkboards. No, I'm joking. I'm not that old. I'm
You know,
only
but
54.
it's funny though, because I never got a fucking participation trophy. You know, I was like, why does everyone else get this shit? You know what I mean? Like, how come when I was playing basketball and shit, if I didn't line up for MVP, I didn't get shit? You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
So I feel that, man. So, but much love and respect to you guys for coming on to the show, man. I can't thank you guys enough for being
We
open-minded
truly
enough to
appreciate
Yeah.
it.
coming on.
And
We
like I said,
appreciate all y'all.
if you want us to dip that limb, just drop
Yeah,
us a
man.
line and we will hook it up.
I
Splash
appreciate
fact,
it.
matter of fact, I'll send you a koozie.
Nice, man. I appreciate it sincerely.
right, bro.
And yeah, I'll be over there closer to the you know, a lot closer than I am now here in Southern California. I believe I'll be closer in Alabama to you guys than, you know what I mean, over here. So
Well,
yeah,
when
man.
you pass through, let us know. You're more than welcome.
Hey, you want to
There's
stop and have a
always
beer?
going to be a bed and a cold beer here.
I appreciate the offer sincerely. It means a lot that you guys would even care enough. So, but much
So,
love and
yeah.
respect to you guys, and I appreciate
We
it
appreciate it,
for
man.
coming on here and being open. So that's what it's all about. And
Thank you.
I'll see you guys in the back room there. All right. So with you guys being here, I can't thank you guys enough for being here. Make sure you guys like the video. It's the #1 metric of all of YouTube. It means the world to me. That's like handing a content creator $5 cash. It means the world. Also, when you comment on the show afterwards, please make sure you guys leave your guys' opinions down below and stuff like that, where we can have an open dialogue as well. That's obviously, you know, a huge way that we get visibility within the show. Sharing the video is obviously like word of mouth on the street, but for the internet, man. So it would mean the world to me if you guys shared it with somebody. Let's see. We got also, as you guys know, completely demonetized until July 3rd here on the YouTube channel. That means I can't make a single dollar off of ad revenue, which really sucks, but it's coming back. You know, it's been now 2 months with zero help from YouTube, all because I went up against the mainstream media, man. And so that means I'm very heavily supported by viewership. So if you guys want to help out the show, and also you guys know I'm moving. Basically, I pick up my Penske truck tomorrow to load up this house. So if you guys want to help out, we got Cash App $ Ball Valve. We have Venmo at Ball Valve and PayPal ballvalvetv@gmail.com to get all if you guys want to shout out on the show, for every donation gets shouted out as well. One thing that I didn't want to miss before we, close up shop here is I actually did get a donation that I got to find on which application it was. I think it was Cash App. Let me go ahead and see. Yeah, we've got Josh as well. Let's see, Josh Whitkins with the donation. I appreciate the $3.50 as well. Appreciate you, my man. Everything counts. Everything adds up, man. It means the absolute world. If you guys want to follow me on my Instagram, that's where I post all my, vlogging content, what I do in general day-to-day life. Also advertising the show. We talk about the show and stuff like that all on there. Check my stories. It's not just the post. It's where I post the stories and stuff like that. That's where I show off my, vlogging days and stuff like that. They're usually about anywhere from 15 to 45-second little clips of what I'm doing day to day. And also reach out to me on there. That's, let me know it's you guys. And I'll definitely make sure that I comment back to you guys. Let's go ahead and answer a couple of you guys in the comments real quick. I've never made on just saying the cops are never doing anything for us anyways. Hey, and listen, man, Pitbull, you're over there in England, and I feel that as well. I mean, listen, everyone's got their own opinions, and that's going to be the way it's going to be. And there's no harm in having a conversation, and that's exactly what we did. Hardwire says, everyone and all sides deserve to be heard. I like religious clubs too, but like LEMCs, there are a time and place for it. And exactly, I gave them the time and place to have that conversation, and that's what it's all about. Again, as long as they're not pretending to be somebody that they're not, then I'm fine, and I respect what they do. You know what I mean? So let's say Dr. Harley says, smash that like. I appreciate you, my man. Appreciate that. But love this show. That's right, my man. That's right. That's what it's all about right there. I miss the pen and paper days and the cold sixer. I feel that as well. Well, kind of. I don't relate. I feel it, but like and subscribe. That's right, my man. Got to trigger that algorithm. You damn fact. Stay safe and take it easy on the move, Mike. You should do a live stream while you're on the move. Keep us informed. And Big Red, that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be going live while I'm in the truck, dude, because it's not against terms of service to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and hang out with you guys. I'll go live an hour here, an hour there, and hang out with you. And I'll show you guys where I'm at, give you guys an update. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Very interesting. And I wish everyone well and a lot learned. And we'll be hoping to see these guys again, and amazing questions and answers were nothing but 100% truth and big respect. Thanks for the show. Absolutely, my man. You got it. Let's see. I tell people almost daily being a 1%er doesn't mean you have to be an asshole. Damn straight. Damn fucking straight. That's absolutely right. So much love and respect to everybody. I hope you all have a wonderful evening, afternoon, morning, wherever the hell you guys are from. Much love and respect to everybody, and we'll see you guys on the flip side. Much love.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart of steel and a spirit unbroken, he rides on 2 wheels ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow, he takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hears back to